Now, Brown has had an eventful 12 months, to say the least, dealing with the Let's Go Brandon controversy off the track while also struggling with sponsorship, largely as a result of that, including the debacle with the LGB coin cryptocurrency. Now, Brown confirmed in an interview today with our own Casey Campbell that he will not be returning to Brandonbilt Motorsports in 2023. Not only that, but this will be his final race with the team.
My number one goal is to win again. I mean, there's not really that much riding on the line in terms of this season. Just kind of give the 68 one last hurrah for me.
You kind of mentioned it. This is the last time that you will be in the 68 this season, and this is also it for you. You aren't returning to this team next year, are you?
No.
Well, there you have it, straight from Brandon Brown himself. Casey, what's your reaction to the news that Brown will be out of a ride going into next season?
Well, first off, I want to thank Brandon for coming on and talking with me about that. Want to also thank Morgan Stone, of course, who does a lot of PR and also is Brandon Brown's girlfriend. So she was a major help in putting this together. So thank you so much to both of them. And also is the PR person for Brandonbilt Motorsports, and as well as Brandon Brown. I kind of saw this coming. I know from talking with them and all that, and it's not surprising. I think a lot of people are going to. I didn't really dive into all the things that have been going on. I think there's you're going to learn a lot about what's been going on with Brandon Brown this week. I know there's going to be some pieces coming out, but I'm not surprised. It's been a tough few months for him. He just wants to go to a championship-winning organization. He wants to win. He wants to be competitive. Racing is all he knows. It's tough. He's not just leaving a team that he's been with. He's also, it's even tougher when you have conflicts with the team, but it's also even tougher when those conflicts happen to also be your family, and one of the team owners happens to also be your dad. So there's always that landscape, but it's been a tough road for him. I just think he wants out. Might as well break this news as well. I did confirm also that he'll be with BJ McLeod for the rest of the season. There could be a race where he's with another team. I don't want to divulge that information right now, but he'll be with BJ for the rest of the season, heading into the Roval next week. So it's a kind of a swan song for the 68 team. Obviously, Chris Wright will be in the car for the rest of the year. As for Brandonbilt Motorsports, I do know that they will be full-time in 2023, but I will let the team divulge those plans.
Well, of course, he's already made some starts for BJ, Mike Harmon, and I believe he even did one race for our Motorsports, if I'm not mistaken there. Yes. So he has been able to maintain a full-time presence in the series, albeit not with the 68 team. Brandon, what's your reaction hearing this news? And I know we've talked about this in the past as well. It's very unfortunate that what should have been the greatest day of Brandon Brown's career kind of launched this moment that 12 months later he's out of a ride.
It's unbelievable, Ben. We're and thank you, Casey, for gathering that news as well, also for the BJ McLeod bit as well. But it's just heartbreaking to see the acts of this tragedy unfold. It's kind of like seeing a Shakespearean play of sorts. Like we start with the highest of highs, gets the victory there, but not being in victory lane, just the circumstances, just making a perfect storm, and having the crowd be as they were, and Brandon Brown, of course, having no control over it. And so it just started this long cycle of, and then we get to the LG Bitcoin fiasco, and it just piled and piled more mess. And it's hard to see this happen to just a person. I mean, he's not just a driver. It's Brandon Brown. He's a guy. He's got family, and family's involved with the organization as well. Certainly there's a lot I don't know about this, but just really feel for the guy and wish him all the best. Hope he can make a statement here in the rest of the season. And there will be some sort of opportunity awaiting for him somewhere, whether that be Xfinity or trucks or even elsewhere. It's a human piece here when you see the rise and fall, and hopefully there will be a rise again for Brandon Brown. It's hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Well, I can say I think I speak on behalf of a lot of race fans, certainly on Twitter. I know his opinion won't be too unpopular. Regardless of how you feel about politics or the Biden administration or the sanitized version of the chant, which became "Let's Go Brandon," life could have been so much more simple for Brandon Brown if the interview had taken place in Victory Lane. And I think that, I hate to get on the soapbox here, but I think it's very unfortunate, because I think if that moment was not the moment where NASCAR maybe took a look and said, maybe we should just go back to what worked very well for decades and just have the interview in Victory Lane, maybe this wouldn't have happened. We might have still been able to hear the crowd making some noise, but they wouldn't have been right on top of Brandon Brown and Kelly Stavast. And I also want to point out, by the way, as well, if you go back to NBC's press releases that came out this summer, they mentioned that Kelly Stavast will be back with the NBC team in 2022. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think we've seen her on any NBC broadcast that I can remember.
Kim Kuhn has been in her spot, I believe.
Yeah,
and she has done a great job, but at the same time, everybody's talking about how, Brandon Brown's career has been turned upside down by this. Kelly Stavast, I think, has taken a lot of heat, undeservedly so, for the role that she played in this. And again, obviously I'm not Kelly Stavast. I don't know what was going through her mind. I don't know if she genuinely thought the chant was "Let's Go Brandon," or was just trying to bring the attention back to Brandon Brown, or what the deal was. But, people came after her way too hard on social media and, said she was, part of this fake news conspiracy, for NBC News and everything. And, that's all just complete political garbage, and there's no place for that. And it's unfortunate that, she's had to take a step back from her NBC Sports role as well, because, it wasn't just NASCAR. I remember seeing her at the Tokyo Olympics, and she really seemed like she was taking a step forward in her career, and that's now come to a halt as well. So it's just a very, very unfortunate situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, and that's not fair to her. And I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking what other careers could have been destroyed if we had trackside interviews sooner? Think of all the things that have happened over the years where the fans have been in a riot mode or chanting something weird. Imagine Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Talladega in 2004. Imagine if we had a trackside victory interview with that, and the beer cans were within face range,
Oh, and don't forget, John Hunter Nemechek almost had a beer can thrown at him.
That too.
Yeah. I think they probably would have had to call an audible. You can't ask a Fox Sports reporter to go out in the middle of raining beer cans and soda bottles or whatever other crap. I think Jeff Gordon said he wasn't sure if they were Pepsi cans or beer cans, trying to, make light of a situation and throw a sponsor plug in there. But, it is unfortunate. And it's also, I went back and forth, with a couple of people on this after the John Hunter Nemechek thing happened. And, some people were mentioning, if that's the argument that you're using, then we shouldn't, do pre-race ceremonies trackside, or we shouldn't have the invocation or the national anthem trackside. And I think, it's very different when, of course, I'm not going to guarantee that an idiot's not going to do something at any time, on the main straightaway or whatever. But I think it's a lot more likely when the race has happened in the past and these fans have reacted to it and they may or may not be happy with the outcome. I think they're a lot more likely to be angry after the race and do something stupid after the race than before the race. And so
you're setting yourself up for controversy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that on obviously the tweet I put out today kind of exploded with the Brandon Brown news. And most of the comments, I was actually talking with his PR team, and most of the comments I saw were pretty positive. Obviously there was, obviously you're going to get some not so ones, and the mute button and the block button. I love the block button. It's just, obviously you're going to get people that like it, obviously, but most people know it's just, it's not his fault, and it's not Kelly Stavast's fault either.